Every winter in Australia's Port Phillip Bay, tens of thousands of giant spider crabs mass together in shallow water to molt, transforming the seafloor into a shifting carpet of legs and claws. The spectacle is dramatic and dangerous because the very act that allows crabs to grow leaves them briefly soft, slow, and irresistible to predators. Molting is a full-body renovation. A crab pulls free of its old shell, even shedding linings of the stomach and the last section of its intestine. In those hours to days before the new carapace hardens, the crab is flexible and defenseless, turning it into a high-value meal for anything that can crack, crush, or swallow it. Scientists and managers have confirmed that Port Phillip's spider crab gatherings involve the native giant spider crab, Leptomithrax guymardi, which sometimes carpet areas as big as a cricket field. Government and university assessments now track where aggregations form, and tag and track studies suggest individuals disperse again after the molt, roaming independently until the next season. Why bunch up when vulnerability is highest? One leading idea is safety in numbers. When predators are around, many animals reduce their domain of danger by clustering, a mechanism captured by Hamilton's classic selfish herd theory and supported by later behavioral studies. Aggregations can dilute individual risk, even if total predation events still occur at the group's edges. For the spider crabs, the gamble is that a tight mass means the predator might grab a neighbor instead. Yet the same dense gathering is a beacon that concentrates predators, creating brief feeding bonanzas for birds, octopuses, and, crucially for this story, stingrays patrolling the bay's sandy flats. The smooth stingray, Bathatotia brevicaudata, is Australia's largest stingray and a powerful benthic hunter common in Port Phillip waters. Natural history accounts and direct observations document smooth stingrays cruising these crab stacks and pinning, crushing, or suctioning soft-shelled individuals during the molting weeks. How do stingrays find soft crabs in the chaos of a molting swarm, or when individuals try to hide beneath shells and sand? Like their shark relatives, stingrays wield electroreception, arrays of jelly-filled pores called ampullae of Lorenzini that detect the faint bioelectric fields produced by living tissues with astonishing sensitivity. Laboratory and field studies on stingrays show they can locate prey buried in sediment using electrical cues alone, and then deliver precisely aimed strikes guided by those signals near the mouth. Electroreception works over short distances, but provides highly directional information, ideal for homing in on a soft, slow crab amid shells and sand. Stingrays also reshape the seafloor as they hunt, excavating feeding pits with rapid fin beats and suction that flush out hidden crustaceans and mollusks. Drone and mapping studies reveal rays can move vast amounts of sediment daily, demonstrating just how energetically and efficiently they probe for invertebrate prey. When spider crabs molt, their new cuticle is leathery and pliable before it calcifies, making them easy to deform and ingest compared with hard-shelled crabs. In Port Phillip's clear winter water, stingrays exploit that window, cruising along the edges and above the piles where exposed. Newly molted crabs are most plentiful. Aggregation helps by reducing each individual's odds of being the one taken, but it does not create immunity. Predators can still pick off those on the periphery, the slowest to react, or the individuals that molt slightly out of sync with the main pulse, all predictions consistent with selfish herd dynamics. Timing matters too, because molts often align with lunar cycles and tides in many crustaceans, compressing vulnerability into predictable bursts. When the soft shell window overlaps with good foraging conditions for rays, clear water, slack currents, and dense crab turnout, the predator's success rate spikes. In these moments, the advantages of group living collide with its costs. The mass becomes conspicuous, and local predators learn to patrol the gathering sites annually. Local agencies and researchers now monitor aggregation locations around the Mornington Peninsula, precisely because the event attracts both wildlife and people eager to witness it. For the crabs, surviving the molt is a trade-off problem solved with multiple tactics used at once. Using old shells as temporary cover, and sprinting for crevices as soon as legs can bear weight. Within a few hours, many can walk again, and within days their armor hardens enough to restore a measure of safety. For the stingrays, the event is a seasonal subsidy, a dense, predictable food source that rewards sensory specializations. Ray's short-range electroreception, combined with excavation foraging and a powerful suction bite, makes soft-shelled crabs exquisitely vulnerable during the brief interval when defenses are down. This predator-prey dance also shapes the seafloor and energy flow because stingray feeding pits disturb sediments, release nutrients, and alter small invertebrate communities. Ecologists are beginning to quantify how much sediment rays shift and what that means for the broader estuary, hinting at ecosystem-level effects from a seemingly narrow foraging choice. Zooming out, the interaction teaches a key lesson about marine survival strategies. Life history bottlenecks, like molting, can dominate risk calculations and therefore drive collective behavior. The spider crab's aggregation is less a festival than a negotiated ceasefire with physics and physiology, buying time against predators with sheer numbers and synchronized timing. It also shows how predator adaptations evolve to meet prey bottlenecks, with stingrays' electrosensory arrays tuned for close quarters hunting in cluttered, low-visibility benthic habitats. Even subtle environmental stressors that impair electrosensory function can reduce foraging efficiency, underscoring how sensitive this hunting strategy is to water quality. From a conservation perspective, both the crab's aggregation and the ray's feeding emphasize the value of protecting seasonal hotspots that power food webs. Disturbance during these windows, through harassment, illegal take, or habitat damage, can have outsized effects by breaking the fragile balance between vulnerability and replenishment. For viewers and divers, the sight of a smooth stingray shadowing a tide of orange crabs is unforgettable, but it reflects everyday rules of survival. Growth demands exposure. Exposure invites predation, and evolution crafts behaviors and senses that tip the odds, never guaranteeing safety but raising the chance of living to molt again. By the end of this encounter, several truths stand out. Molting renders spider crabs temporarily defenseless. Aggregation dilutes individual risk without eliminating mortality. And stingrays leverage electroreception and excavation to capitalize on the soft shell window, a convergence that reshapes sediments and sustains predators at a critical time. These principles travel far beyond Port Phillip Bay. Any ecosystem where prey must periodically lower defenses, whether for growth, migration, or reproduction, will attract predators fine-tuned to that vulnerability, creating seasonal pulses of risk and reward that ripple through the food web. Understanding this cycle equips us to read the seascape with sharper eyes. When the water cools and the moon is right, the crabs gather, the rays arrive, and the ancient exchange resumes, brief, risky, and essential for both sides of the struggle. Thanks for watching. Every story matters, from the everyday to the extraordinary. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for your next world discovery. It's completely free and means the world to me. What topic should we explore next? Drop it in the comments below. See you in the next one.